Okay, here we're going to talk about grasses. This is Muscanthus Gigantica. Stunning, very large statement piece. However, you've got to have the garden for it. You've got to have the space because it does multiply, it sends out runners, and the clump gets bigger and bigger. Now this guy again has been in at least 20 years, so he has gotten to the way you like it, like the size he is. Now he does look lovely all winter, and he usually stands up most of the winter. The wet snow can break him down, but he usually pops back up again. However, this variety, all this dead, this comes off all winter, and it blows everywhere and gets into everything. So you got to keep that in mind, whether you want to clean up a big mess in the spring or get rid of it now. If you're going to get rid of it in the fall or in the spring, again, he's like a lot of the other perennials. He comes up from the root. So you can take him down pretty tight. And just leaving those stalks. And then he'll flush up from the bottom. Either way, it's a big job for these big guys to clean up. Like I said, I like to do it now, well, in the next couple weeks. Trim them back, because I don't want to have to deal with all these loose leaves all winter, or all in the spring and all winter, blowing all over the place. Getting into the neighbor's garden, getting into my garden, and everything else. So I usually wait till probably into November, a little bit longer, and then I'll take them right down. Okay, move on to the next one. Grass, she's a medium height. This is a Muscanthus Maiden hair. The same thing. You can leave the grass up. This one's not as bad once it turns brown, and it usually hangs on to the stems. It hangs on to the stems, so it's a lot. You can cut it off in the spring, but you can cut it off now too. You're going to cut it off about 6 inches high. Cut it off, clean it up, or leave it till the spring. This one, it really doesn't matter too much. I will probably, again, like I said, be cutting this down in the next month or two, just because we don't have time to work at it in the spring. Okay, so I'm going to move on to another one here. Okay, this is Karl Forrester, probably one of my most favorite grasses. It is one of our most popular ones because of the height, and it's controllable, and it's easy to grow. Usually your foliage is up about 2 to 3 feet, and then you get your flower spikes. Now you get these nice brown flower spikes. You get these pretty much all summer. Again, this one's been in place a long time, and this is what happens with grasses. The center is dead. So we've got this ring of grass, and the center is dead. What's going to happen to this guy, hopefully if I have time, next spring, I'm going to dig him up and probably divide him into probably 10 new plants and transplant them into other gardens, and then replant one bigger clump in the middle. I do leave this one for sure up all winter because he stands up nice, and all winter stays up nice. In the spring, you just go through and shave them off about a foot with the hedge trimmers and clean them up that way in the spring, and then it all flushes out new. Okay, we're going to go to another one here. This guy here, this is a Muscanthus Grass as well. It's a wide leaf variegated, but he tends not to be very strong in the stems. We tied him up at one point, but that didn't do a very good job of it, and he just fell over like this. He will completely flatten out when we get into some wet snow. So I'm going to take this guy down. This is the great invention. It's a battery operated hedge trimmer. Wow, it has made a big difference in my gardening life. So all I'm going to do is just go in. Okay. I didn't get. Now, this is a prime example. What I was talking about, the center dying out. In older grasses, this tends to happen. So what does have to be done, this whole grass should be dug up, cut into different sections, the biggest section planted back in the center, and then you get rid of this dead spot. It's really not a big deal. Like I said, this one has probably been in about 20, 30 years as well. But it doesn't hurt it to dead either. Some people just don't like seeing that. But when the grass grows up, you don't see it anyway, so I don't know. But this is a prime example of what grasses do. It's not a big deal. It's not, the clump isn't completely dying out. It's just the natural thing of what they do. It dies out in the center. No big deal. Okay, so that's it for the grasses. Just give me a call at the garden center if you have any questions at all. Thanks again. Bye-bye.